All right, Billy, welcome to Gen X Rated Tuesday edition. I know it's been a while.
Yeah. Anything happened while we were gone?
Barely anything, I would guess. Happy holidays, all that good stuff. All good. Yeah, maybe a few things. New music, again, another letter, don't monetize, whatever. We'll keep changing that, or maybe get some help from our friend Pete. We'll see. Yeah, apparently a lot's gone on, and it just seems crazier and crazier. For somebody that doesn't like people working remotely, it seems odd that Trump's been in Mar-a-Lago for 3 weeks now and invading sovereign nations from Mar-a-Lago. I mean, why can't you work from home if you can invade a country from home?
I thought he went back to DC on Monday, no?
Maybe he did it on Monday, but he was down there for 3 weeks during the invasion. He was down there. They put a little curtain up in one of the meeting rooms down there, and it was pretty ridiculous. Before we do jump into any of the Venezuela stuff, today is the anniversary, January 6th, of the insurrection, whatever you want to call it. It's hard to forget that day, honestly.
Yeah, it was horrible.
I think so too. It had a whole weird vibe to it. The Make America Great people, obviously the woman, this guy who did his jail time. I guess they were just asking for directions from this security guard.
Which way to the gift shop? Oh, that way. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. 5 years later, here we are, and nothing's really changed except that these guys were just coming to say hi and meet a local politician.
Yeah, I mean, it's horrifying. It really is. I mean, call it what it is. It was an insurrection that Trump spurred on, that Trump allowed to happen. And these people, I mean, people like Ginny Thomas, the wife of a Supreme Court justice, actively aided and abetted people in getting there. I mean, they had plans. There were people that showed up armed with zip ties. They were ready to kill people. They were ready to fucking kill Mike Pence.
They had the gallows there. They were ready to go.
Yeah. And Trump stood by and watched. He was pleased. This is exactly what he wanted. A woman was killed, and it was her own fault. And then again, I mean, these people have all been pardoned. A lot of them have actually been rearrested for other dumb shit that they did, pedophilia, all kinds of crazy shit, domestic violence. Her family received $1 million for what? You're a fucking criminal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous. It was even worse watching it again during the hearings when they showed footage that nobody had seen. The television that we watched that day, the feed that we had live, it pales in comparison to the footage that we didn't see. That was horrifying.
Even the footage we saw was disturbing. I mean, I just had a sense. I don't obviously watch daytime television, period, but that was something when it came on. It was hard to look away. You just got a feeling that something wasn't right, that this was going to be a lot bigger than, a protest that we're coming down to see Trump and go down to the Capitol type of thing. This was through Jack Smith's testimony and information. Trump planned this and paid for it. They brought these people in. They wanted, exactly as you said, they wanted this event to happen the way it happened, taking a shit on Pelosi's desk. Coming in and busting up the Capitol. I mean, this wasn't guys just coming for a visit. This was coming, as you said, for some destructive reasons and to just stay in our country, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, aided and abetted by Republican politicians. The guy giving the tour of the back stairwell, showing them the sconces that nobody's seen. It's treason. It was sedition, plain and simple. And these people are back in power again. They've been pardoned, and now they're just emboldened. I mean, it's horrific. It's absolutely horrific. This is what happens in banana republics. And I'm not talking about the khakis and chinos store. And we're seeing it now. Clearly, with Trump's comments and his actions in Venezuela, he's demented. There's literally a brain damaged child man at the wheel. And He's being aided and abetted by some of the worst people imaginable. And we're just captives here. This is
Pretty much.
absolutely horrifying because the people this should have been stopped. Trump should have been not only out of politics, he should have been incarcerated, but there was no sense of justice, no sense of outrage from people that could have stopped it. Like old turtle face, Mitch McConnell.
Sure.
This shouldn't happen. We should be living in that parallel universe now where Harris is president and things are better. We have a more progressive and more fair system. Billionaires are paying their fair share, and maybe Elon Musk is in jail along with Trump. But
Yeah.
here, I mean, we're on the other side of the looking glass, and it is just, it's horrible.
Well, they joke that if, as Musk said, if they didn't win the election, that they'd be going to jail, himself in particular. So I think there was a lot of reason for him to put his thumb on the scale and do as much as he could. Again, we talked about in New York, they're working through the courts as to the discrepancies with the voting, why it was how it was, where nobody's voting for Harris, but they're voting straight Democrat. Pretty strange. So we'll see. But by then, the mentality was us versus them, red versus blue, conservative versus liberal. I mean, there was no putting that nonsense aside and doing for country. Which just sounds ridiculous when you look at the environment that we're living in right now. I mean, it's a real problem. Venezuela was a distraction. Let's get away from Jack Smith's testimony, which leads us to the January 6th stuff. Trump being involved, Jenny Thomas being involved. Let's get away from number one, the Epstein files. Apparently, they've released 1% of the Epstein files so far. Of course, Bondi comes out and says it's taking longer because we're trying to protect the victims. It's about the victims.
Yeah, the victims. That's right. We're trying to redact as much as we possibly can before we put out this useless information because all the important salient points and names have been redacted.
Yeah.
I mean, who's buying it? Even Marjorie Taylor Greene isn't buying this bullshit.
Yeah, and she's leaving office. The 65-year-old congressman from California, Republican, died today. The numbers of the House for the majority is getting pretty slim. There will be another election in Texas, special election. So we'll see. And as that becomes even and they get less power and Mike Johnson stops having the little bit of control that he has, we'll see if that'll change anything. But I don't think there's time to hang out and wait for the legislators to do anything. It's like we don't have it. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when we had a Supreme Court and we had a Congress, and I don't feel that way anymore. I see the one guy on TV all the time. I see the one guy spewing misinformation nonstop, doing this little two-time, election routine, whether it's the weightlifting thing or the snake story or fill in the blank. It's so old and stale and dated. And for the record, the people that voted for that and really liked that stuff, what did it get you? Because as of January 1st, you lost your health care.
Yeah. And, it's harder getting your Social Security now. I mean, if you're one of those old boomers that are sitting at home watching this shit all day, waiting for your check to come in, it's going to get you too. That snake is going to turn around and bite your ass too.
But it is a great story.
Oh, it's a great story. The weave that he does, it's so great.
And that today too, to your point, great weaver. You know how I like to weave. Talking about his dancing and how his stately wife finds it embarrassing and unpresidential. And really, you think she even talks to you that long to give you those opinions? Because I doubt it. We'll see it in the movie when it comes out January 30th.
Melania, the story of Melania. I mean, I was a captive audience on the treadmill last night. Fox is on one of the TVs, and that trailer came across. It just looks like exactly what it is. It's just a pandering attempt by Jeff Bezos to gain favor. Nobody's going to go watch that piece of shit, especially in a theater. Are you fucking kidding me? You're going to pay $20 to watch that?
No.
The story of an alleged, I say alleged, I'm not accusing anybody of anything, of an alleged escort that came here on a genius grant and was a good friend, was hanging out in Epstein's orbit. Yeah.
Well, that was his girlfriend
Who
first.
cares? Melania, the movie.
Trump got sloppy seconds on that one, and I guess he was happy about that.
Yeah, he did. He was happy.
Just to go back to Venezuela, Trump made a lot of statements, Stephen Miller, about our hemisphere. We own this. They brought in Iran. They talked about Hamas, all this made up nonsense. And maybe it's just words that people on that side of the aisle can understand and just see read about. But it's nonsense. The oil companies knew before the Congress knew or us that they were going to go into Venezuela. He did this ridiculous. I don't even know what you call it. They just plucked out the president. They said it was a legal thing. It was about fentanyl. It wasn't even in the indictment that they put forward when they charged this guy in New York. They charged him with having a machine gun. I mean, it was just like ridiculous. Do we control gun laws of sovereign nations? No, we don't even control our own gun laws, to be perfectly frank.
Well, and this is a guy that ran on a platform of avoiding foreign wars. We're not going to get entangled in any of that. And now he's looking to go after everybody. Cuba, Greenland, Canada, Mexico.
It's
what the fuck are you doing? And you've got an incompetent, drunken boob in charge of the military.
It's really Trump, but you're right. Hegseth, it's just all about appearances with him. Now, unbeknownst to Trump, I guess, maybe he didn't clarify, but the oil companies aren't interested in going into Venezuela. It's heavy crude. It's not something they want to put their workers when you might have some jungle warfare going on there. The Venezuelans, to say the least, are upset, and rightfully so. Somebody comes in and takes your president away and then starts making demands on you.
Well, and he says he's in charge now. So your vice president can't be in because she stole Trump's Nobel Peace Prize.
Well, that's a different woman. That's the VP, which their Supreme Court did swear in. It was the opposition leader, right, that got the Nobel Prize that she's willing to maybe share with Trump.
Too late. Trump was already upset. Nope, she didn't give it to me. She didn't say I turned this down because Donald J. Trump should have it because he's stopped so many wars. Nope. You had your chance, sister.
Well, she's trying to recoup that, and I don't know if she's willing to give the award to him, but she's definitely praising him. Thank you, thank you, thank you for doing this, blah, blah, blah. These people are so transparent. Now, today, 16 oil tankers from BRICS, members of BRICS, which is Brazil, Russia, China, India, and Mexico, are breaking the military U.S. blockade, and they're loading up Venezuelan oil. The Chinese buy about 84% of their oil from there. I don't know that we want to get into a competition with China. I know China's not looking to mess with us because we buy all their crap, and we're fools politically. So that's an easy one for them to work around. But they're going to take their oil. And if Trump wants to die on this hill, good luck. Next up is Greenland. I mean, KK Caroline says Trump's done an amazing job of unifying the world. The downside
against us, yeah, he's done a great job of that.
Unifying everybody against us, because you move on to Greenland, which they said, hey, we're a superpower. We do what we want. This is Stephen Miller speak. But there was a joint statement today from the leaders of France, Germany, Italy, Poland, Spain, the UK, and Denmark, saying Greenland belongs to its people, and only Greenland and Denmark get to say what is in their future. When we talk about our hemisphere, stay out of it. Well, maybe, heed your own advice.
Yeah, it's just, this is absolutely horrifying what we're seeing right now. I mean, the parallels to, the Second World War are just overwhelming. The Nazi takeover of Germany, which was, a fledgling democracy under the Weimar Republic. And it's the same tactics, and it's the exact same attitude. And it's interesting because I've been getting some shorts popping up from the movie Nuremberg, about the Nuremberg war crimes trials. And Russell Crowe does, it looks like an amazing job of portraying Hermann Goering. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty timely that that's popping up now, because you're watching a fucking war criminal, the portrayal of a war criminal on trial, someone who was behind the architecture and the carrying out of, not only 6 million Jews, but, gypsies, gays, political opponents, and a war that was the deadliest war in human history, a literal world war. sitting there cool as a cucumber saying, well, this is what we had to do. And it was for the good of Germany. I mean, it's the same shit. But in the
Yeah.
end, I was following orders, didn't get these people off. That fucker ended up at the end of a rope, as a lot of them did.
Yeah.
Maybe more should have. But you hope that there is a day that comes at some point, and who knows what kind of shit we're going to have to go through to get there, when Stephen Miller's on trial saying, well, I was just following orders. And no, it doesn't work. We'll see. I don't know.
It's such a bizarre group of people too, because even Rubio, who is the in the cabinet with Trump as your Secretary of State, but he's also his advisor on foreign affairs as well. He's all in. Um, Cuba being next, like, come on. Lindsey Graham was all in. He was practically getting giddy on Air Force One, talking about going in there and making it ours. It's just bizarre talk that they're rounding up the weirdest people to make this happen for all of us. It affects all of us. I mean, it may be an ego thing for them, maybe something that they beat their chest about, but it affects everybody. And I don't see enough pushback. Certainly the Democrats are a little bit neutered in this instance, but the Republicans going along with it and drinking the punch is just over the top.
It is. And I don't understand how some of these people don't have a conscience or a spine to say enough. This is not who we are. This is not who we aspire to be. Lindsay, obviously, dude, give it up. Everybody knows exactly who you are, what your preferences are, and nobody cares. And little Marco, what were you doing at that phone party that's so bad? Holy shit, bro. I mean, they've got you by the, they've got you by the sack.
I think he got a taste of this and he kind of likes it. I think he likes the power. I think he likes being the evil villain, and what he's saying is happening. So that's got to kind of fuel his passion for being this giant asshole that he is.
It's pathetic.
You talked about the blueprint and a little bit about Germany and moving forward with how they're doing these things. We're seeing it in our own country as well. Yesterday, the Hampton Inn came out, and one in particular that was independently owned and refused ICE residents there. They wouldn't let them stay at their hotel. Now the Hilton, who oversees the Hampton Inns, made them apologize and also forced them to allow ICE to stay at their hotels. And it brought me back to like that bakery in California that wouldn't do a cake for a gay wedding. And they're like, oh, well, it's their business, their choice. They should be able to do whatever. Well, this is an independently owned Hampton Inn. Why can't they choose to do what they want?
Yeah, it's pathetic the way that their parent company of Hilton has just, like other corporations, have just capitulated to this. All in the name of making more money, more profits, getting favors. It's just pathetic how the, not only obscenely wealthy individuals, but corporations that are flush with cash.
Yeah.
They've just capitulated because they need more. We've got to have more. Meanwhile, you've got people going hungry. You've got people that are literally going, as of now, without health insurance or having to put off treatment because, once they paid their premium, they still have that $10,000 deductible. So I can't get this treatment that I need. People that, don't have childcare anymore. And because Trump's put a freeze on that because he hates Somalians. I mean, it's endless. The people that are going without. So these corporations and these obscenely wealthy, morbidly wealthy people can have more because they don't want to pay their fair share of taxes, or they don't have enough. I need another luxury lot. I need to buy another estate in Hawaii. It's disgusting. It's just so sick the way these values are out of whack.
You saw over the new year how many billionaires had their boats down in the Caribbean, which seemed kind of ironic.
Or just the big bash down at Mar-a-Lago with Ice Cube, whoa, and Ninja Turtle.
Ice
tearing it up,
doing the dance.
Yeah.
I just wanted to come back to your wealth thing. The richest 10% holds 60% of our nation's wealth. The bottom half hold about 6%. Pretty extreme difference. And just one example, under Biden, the banks were no longer able to charge those overdraft fees. If you don't have sufficient funds in your account when you write a check or whatever, It's overdraft, and they have these fees. Now, if you look at the dollars and cents of it, the banks brought in $89 billion from literally people that have no money.
Mm-hmm.
So the bank bottom line was up $89 billion with a B in overdraft fees, only gaining that money from people that didn't have the money to afford it. And it's not like they were going out and buying luxury items. This is just, it's a daily thing. Oh shit, bouncing checks isn't something to be proud of, but it does happen. That's why you have overdraft in case of that. We know from our own experience, Granny K, Social Security was 2 days off. We had to open another account so that there was money into it so she didn't come up short when her bills came due. Otherwise, boom, overdraft.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be a day or two. There's no leeway on that. And I just find it extremely offensive that these banks are able to make that much money for doing nothing. It's not customer service, that's for sure. You're just basically a vehicle to taking these people's money. So it's insane.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
And again, it takes away from the Epstein files, which is really the whole point of this. The Justice Department has released 1% of all the Epstein file information they have. 1%. And of course, Bondi comes out and says, "Oh, we're protecting the victims, and that's why it's slowing down." But I think we know who they're protecting, and it has nothing to do with the victims, sadly.
Yeah, no, they don't care about the victims. I mean, the victims are speaking out on a daily basis. And the only Republican who I've seen who's actually aligned herself with the victims is, ironically enough, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, absolutely right. And she's on her way out. So maybe that's part of it. So based on all this money and all this madness, I just want to put up some photos of who's actually controlling the media. It was kind of stark to me how this went down. Well, I won't come back to that. That was also very disheartening. The Corporate for Public Broadcasting has been disbanded. It's a 58-year-old institution, primarily funding for PBS, NPR, local TV and radio stations. They do a great job for rural America that maybe doesn't have such tremendous access to cable, etc. It's definitely a lifeline to those people. $1.1 billion over 2 years, and they decided to take that away. The board really had no choice. I mean, Trump called it their woke propaganda, all kinds of nonsense that's not even worth talking about. But when you look at that and you take away like your NPR and your PBS's, that kind of funding, what does that leave? And basically you're looking at who owns the media. It's the billionaires. They own X, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, TikTok, Truth, obviously, Switch. And then let's look at the networks. Fox, CBS, which is now a joke. It's just drop the CBS, Washington Post, Wall Street Journal, New York Post. And then we've talked about this before. Yeah, they have large ownership in all these things. I get that. That's where they are. But I don't know why this is popping up. But it's more than that. They also control your AI. So you ask AI something, they're going to give you the answer. They control your algorithms that are feeding you your content. They also have all your personal information, which we always click the box to get rid of. I want it. I don't care. Look at my stuff. Well, you have my personal data. And then the device that you're on, whether I'm on my phone scrolling, whether I'm on a laptop, where's the information come from? You're being guided down this path that they want you on. And it makes things very difficult to actually know what truth from fiction. And not to cut you off here, but we saw the MTV, they played that was all over Twitter about the last song that they played before they went off the air was Video Killed the Radio Star. And then I find out 2 days later, it was nonsense, fake news.
Yeah. They're still kicking.
I mean, they don't play music, but
yeah, they don't do that anymore. Just stupid reality shows. But honestly, yeah, it's disturbing, and I don't even care.
Yeah, well, for sure. But if you're going to lie about that, you can lie about anything. I mean,
anything and everything. I mean, the only way to really find out any kind of actual news is to look at, different sources, The Guardian,
Independent sources for sure. Al Jazeera,
the BBC.
The Independent, again, both UK papers, or you'd said earlier, The Intercept, The Nation. You almost have to get your own VPN just so that you can kind of decipher what information and content you will receive. It's crazy. And on the tail end of that is 185 local TV stations and 100 markets. So you think you can turn on the old boob tube and you're going to watch, your dad's news. It's not a thing.
No, it's not. I mean, CBS News with Walter Cronkite and Dan Rather is dead, thanks to Barry Weiss, and that that lunkhead that's their new anchor.
First broadcast didn't go very well.
Because that's what you get when you put amateur propagandists in charge of things, but nobody cares. Yeah, I mean, it's horrifying, but you have to seek out your own information now. And,
They're
local
making it
news
very
is,
difficult.
and, we've talked about this before, how local news has been overtaken by Sinclair. So, you see it anytime you watch John Oliver, who is always a good source. Make sure you tune into that. But you see it when they show all of these different stations from all across the country parroting the same line of bullshit.
Yeah, I love that at Christmas. They usually play the same format from all areas of the country, and it's the same script. It's just in a different accent, so to speak.
Yeah, it's amazing. It truly is. But local news hasn't been really newsworthy for a long time. You'll see some of the big stories, but the rest of it is sports, weather, and things that are going to scare old people.
Well, and your local paper too is just basically picking up AP stories. They're not really giving you anything super local.
That's if you're even getting a local paper anymore.
Yeah, I think the AJC, after 157 years, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution no longer has a print paper. They're the first major city that has no newsprint at all. It's still available online, but again, I'd like something in my hand, man. If I'm going to read the paper, I kind of prefer that. I get it; it's evolving, but I also think that restricts who gets the content, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, our generation, we remembered when a lot of towns, Pittsburgh growing up, you had a morning paper and an evening paper. You had the Press and the Post Gazette.
Yeah, so true. Now, the local paper here, you get no Monday edition because they print it out of town. So you skip Monday. And then all the news is a day old anyway, because you're printing it, essentially the day before.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing worth looking at now is just the op-ed pages and the letters to the editor, where you're seeing a lot of people aren't having this.
Yeah. Will that create the change? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I just think it's interesting. I mean, you see people, anytime somebody takes the time to actually put pen to paper or send an email and put their thoughts down, I mean, that shows that there's a deep concern there.
And we had that before Trump even came on the scene. I would get text notices saying, hey, submit something for an op-ed.
Yeah, you had that one published, and now it's gone. I don't even see that anymore.
I know. Yeah. And that, again, I think that was more in the Bush times. It
was in the early Trump era, though.
First Trump. Yeah. And then it's gone. So
I use it a lot.
Yeah, you can try with your local paper to submit it, maybe online. That was a great source, though. I thought it was kind of easy. You could do it on your phone. You could submit it. They generally could clean it up if you were a poor writer, but it was more about the content of what you were trying to express. And it's interesting to see what the take is of people, especially in your community. I mean, these are the people you're going to be surrounded by once we're not able to do a whole lot of other things.
Oh, yeah.
If you're sick, these are the people that are going to take care of you. And I mentioned that because the CDC came out. First of all, we've had horrible, horrible flu. The CDC has been keeping records for the last 20 plus years. And it's just everywhere. We've had our highest cases in 25 years, 40 states. It's different symptoms. This is like a longer lasting fever for like 7 days, which can be a serious issue. More gastrointestinal stuff, which we can take a survey of the people that we spend time with over the holiday, and I guarantee you some had the stomach pain, some had the sinus pain, some had fever. more gastrointestinal, vomiting seen more in pediatric flu cases, bad cough lasting weeks, very phlegmy. Sit in a room without people clearing their throat. It's not happening. Vomiting, diarrhea, uh, joint pain, muscle aches. Um, and then what do we do about that? Well, um, our Make America Healthy Again came out, the CDC, run by RFK Jr., and they no longer recommend that all children be vaccinated against hepatitis A, hepatitis B, RSV, which is pretty scary when your kid gets it, bacterial meningitis, which I find horrifying. It's a deadly infection. It can kill uh, children within hours. I mean, it's not something you mess around with. Rotavirus, influenza. These are the new recommendations to don't get vaccinated against these things. And I just, on any level, I just don't get it. I don't understand.
Yeah, none of this makes any sense. But again, these aren't serious people. These aren't people that are actually there in the best interest of the country to try and keep people safe and healthy. They don't care. I mean, RFK Jr., I don't know what's wrong with that guy, except that he's a heroin addict with a worm in his brain, but nothing that he says now makes sense. You know, you're all in on, well, these vaccines cause autism. Well, I thought you had that figured out. I thought you identified Tylenol, for fuck's sake, as the cause of autism. I mean, these people are just, they're out of control. The ignorance and just the outright stupidity.
And Tylenol's a company. You know, you're not even talking about the actual drug, acetaminophen. I mean, Trump can't say it, so I guess that's why they say Tylenol. But it's like cling wrap or Saran wrap or Kleenex. It's a brand, and you're blasting Tylenol as if you know what's happening. To that point, U.S. vaccination rates have plunged. No county in Idaho, Louisiana, Oregon, Texas, Utah, or Wisconsin is reaching kindergarten immunity because do what you feel like. I don't believe in modern medicine type of thing. Meanwhile, so much work, so much data, so much evidence of people that had to suffer through a lot of these illnesses made this schedule for vaccinations. And now because Trump says there's 180 shots that they give these children, which is just nonsense, we're going to scrap all of it. I mean, it makes no sense. We've surpassed 2,000 measles cases. It's the first time in 30 years we've had that many cases. Soon, we're not even going to say that that we're immune to it in our country because there's going to be so many cases of it. I mean, what in the world is happening?
I don't know. It's horrifying though. It's like we're just voluntarily re-entering the dark ages. I mean, we're going to go back to leeches now, leeches and bloodletting.
It's insane. And then Trump comes out and with social services, he's going to cut. I'll come back to that. He's cutting over $10 billion in social services and child care. This goes to the Tim Walz thing where, massive fraud in daycares.
Dude, it's just more right-wing propaganda. Some right-wing propagandist went by a daycare center. It was closed. Yeah, because it was after hours. I mean, people are so fucking gullible. But you know, it's just like Hitler and Goebbels said, you tell a big, big lie over and over and over again, and people start to believe it. And these guys have that down.
Yeah, they're doing a great job with that. The interesting part is, Walz now is not going to run for governor because his family's being attacked, and it's distracting from the job that the governor needs to do for the people in his state because of this nonsense about Somalians and this massive fraud, which isn't even a thing. If you research Project 2025, there is a reason why they want to underfund this. They do want to keep the little lady at home. They do want you to have nothing as far as cash or ability to take care of yourself. And then you become dependent and desperate, and they're still not going to take care of you. So good luck with that. Part of this 10 billion, 7.35 billion of that money is blocked from California, Colorado, Illinois, Minnesota, and New York. Do you see a theme here?
Yeah. What do all those states have in common?
Yeah. So we're going to go after the blue states. We're going to underfund them. And interesting enough, when you talk about social services, let's go back to FEMA, something where this year, the big Kristi Noem job for FEMA is to cut half the staff. If you're not paying out, what do you need the staff for anyway, right? So,
Oh yeah, when you stopped answering the phones.
Yeah.
right when people needed it the most. I mean, there's people in North St. Louis still trying to figure out where they're going to live and keep their stuff. And it's just,
North Carolina, Kentucky. I mean, the
mhm.
list goes on and on. It
Yeah,
doesn't
but you don't see that anymore. All you see is Trump doing his stupid dance and telling his demented stories.
have. Yeah, so true. It's frustrating. And then by the flip side, through the holiday, all you saw were these people in his 3 weeks at Mar-Lago doing ice sculptures and caviar and shrimp, and they're watching college football, Hegseth and Rubio at the table while they're surrounded by all this luxury food and elegance. The rest of us are just trying to scrape by. It's very unpresidential, and this government it just isn't for the people. It's
Yeah,
for
it's
certain
horrific.
people. Yeah, it's
It's
a real
absolutely
problem.
horrific. And those leftovers of all that food went straight into a dumpster. I'm sure none of the staff was allowed to take anything home. And I'm sure that dumpster was locked so nobody else could have it either.
Bear proof.
These are
Yeah,
disgusting people.
it just seems very un-American. Just to come back to that,
Mhm.
even Trump, when says he's going to push back against the drug companies, he wants to lower prices. I think we all heard 100%, 200%, 1,000%, 5,000%. But the truth of the matter is that the drug makers are raising U.S. prices on 350 medicines starting January 1st. Um,
And how much do you think all of the scans, all the MRIs, CT scans, all the medication, all the physicals, all the medical attention Trump's had to keep that fading, bloated body and dissolving brain propped up?
a
How
lot,
much do you think? What do you think the grand total of that is that we've paid for?
hundreds of thousands of dollars
Easily.
easily. Yeah. Well, he's got the best of the best, and he feels that he deserves that, but you and I don't.
No, no, I do not feel that he deserves that. Let you pay your own way to Mar-a-Lago,
Yeah. Oh, for
your
sure.
little golf trips and your trips down south. I mean, every time you set foot on that jet, it's costing us money.
Oh, for
And
sure. Well, go ahead.
don't forget the $1 billion we're on the hook for to restore the one that he was gifted.
Yeah, we don't hear a whole lot about that. And then even the Venezuelan thing, he's made several comments when he felt the oil industry would go in there. They would redo the infrastructure and get the oil out of there, and we would reimburse them. They did a side by side with the Iraq War. The nonsense that was stated going into there will be seen as liberators. The oil from there will pay for itself. All that nonsense. It's the same script. It's a different
Mhm.
person. It's not Rumsfeld. It's Rubio. It's like the same argument. They're going to love us there. We're going to do this. And at the end of the day, the Iraq War was paid for by the American taxpayer. Wasn't by the oil of Iraq, wasn't by Halliburton or anybody else. We paid them. Dick Cheney made a lot of money off that, as did
Mhm.
many of his buddies. And it's the same thing with this. We're on the hook as taxpayers. We're on the hook for anything that happens in Venezuela.
Yeah,
So
it's
the
just
oil companies don't even want the oil, but too late. We're already here.
yeah. I don't see how anybody can be for this. Any thinking person with a brain in their head, a half functioning brain.
Yeah, and I guess the bottom line is, the oil companies don't want to go in there and have their workers picked off by guerrillas. I know the Venezuelan people were pretty upset. They had some major rallies, and then you have the terrain is not great. You're not just going to come in there because you're America and you got all this force. It reminds me a lot of like Vietnam, where you just
Hmm.
thought you could go in there and it was going to be an easy fight. Well, it wasn't. 58,000 Americans lost their lives. It wasn't necessary. And are we going to allow that again? Are we okay with that? I mean, they don't have to draft. We have enough people. It's not about the draft, but I worry about our service members that would be put on the ground there. Uh,
Hmm.
Even one is too many. And it just doesn't seem to resonate because these guys are so amped up on, power. It's their
Yeah.
steroid.
Well, and they're not sending their kids.
Of course not. Donnie Jr., come on now.
I don't see Hegseth, getting back to his old unit and getting out there.
No, he's busy doing pull-ups. And for the record, I didn't see a single pull-up bar at the airport. We got stuck in the airport several times. I didn't see people in suits. People were, for the most part, that we dealt with, were courteous, like any other time you travel, but it wasn't a great experience. We missed
No.
flights. We were diverted to other flights. We backtracked. Got split up. I mean, it was pretty terrible
It
experience
was a mess.
for sure. Um,
And we couldn't even do our pull-ups.
I know. I was hoping to get a good sweat in at the airport.
Yeah.
As I sat in my middle seat, that was going to be fantastic. Very upsetting. I will note this that in the Section 453 and the spending bill, the Republicans tried to push through putting forever chemicals into pesticides and then banning people from suing the pesticide companies who were given immunity. It went pretty far, but it was eventually stripped out, I want to say yesterday, out of that bill because what are we doing?
Dude, it's greedy motherfuckers that don't care about us or anybody other than themselves and their bottom line. I mean, it's just, yeah, I don't even know what to say anymore.
You're right about that. And there's only, the whole purpose of this was to educate, inform and educate, entertain. I think we've lost that a while ago. Thanks,
Yeah.
Gina. But my point being that it's not making the change that we're hoping for. We want people to be informed. We're trying to educate you. We're not picking sides here. We're just saying what's being presented, and you have to kind of make a decision and a choice what kind of future you want for your kids or grandkids or your neighbor or your dog. Fill in the blank. But we're really coming up against it, and the more people that I talk to, just in the general public, maybe people that are acquaintances, it's the unknown. They're really not sure how to wrap their minds around what's happening and how to create the change that most of us want.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about and I applaud the No Kings, but it's not about waiting for the next rally. It's a day to day. And the only thing that I've seen that continually comes up is the strike option. You could take 80 million people and they don't go to work, and the billionaires find out pretty quickly we have a problem.
A big problem. But then again, I mean, people are afraid to miss work because, a lot of people, you don't get paid, you lose your job, you lose your family's health care.
Sure.
I mean, they've got us, and they've got us backed into a corner in a lot of ways. But again, there are more of us, I think, than there are of
A lot
them.
more.
But these, you get into this kind of situation, these situations do not end well.
Yeah, and a lot of times you get frozen because you're going to work every day. Like you said, you don't want to lose your health care, you don't want to lose your job, you have dependents that count on you, and you're just being led down this walkway.
Mhm.
The only people who are having a really good time are at the very, very, very top.
Oh yeah, it's like the French Revolution, man. They were partying and let them eat cake. But it
Yeah,
just,
and not yummy cake.
yeah. And there's that thin veneer of normalcy. The NFL playoffs are still going to go on. We're still going to have a Super Bowl. There's, the Oscars are coming up. I mean, on the surface, everything looks normal, but it is not. This is really unprecedented. And that's what's so disturbing. And especially because, again, these are not stable, serious people running this. They are acting at the whims of a demented, toxic narcissist. And, he's backed, he is backed by people like Peter Thiel, people like Elon Musk.
Yeah, Musk is back. Was back in Mar-a-Lago as soon as the invasion happened, and people were like, "Well, how? I guess they made friends again." Well, they have giant resources of lithium, something very near and dear to Musk. I mean, there's always a reason for this. Hey, let's get Trump elected so we don't go to jail. Hey, he's a pedophile, but you know what? There's lithium involved, so I'm all about it. I mean, it's just money and power dictate everything, and I feel like the old saying is you can't take it with you. But we've really gotten out of that mindset, and everything's about the cash. It's all about the money. We respect the influencers. We respect the celebrities. I mean, when I see the Hilton doing this, I think of Paris Hilton. You don't think she had issues with Trump when she was young?
Oh yeah, I'm
I
sure.
mean, there is no doubt. I mean, Ivanka at 13 was part of that modeling agency that the guy ran that was bringing in European models.
Mhm.
We need to tear the the Band-Aid off all of this because it's horrific and it's all like tentacles throughout our whole system here. Nothing's reliable, nothing's trustworthy, nothing. I don't know. We have to keep coming back to the people that are in charge and the horrible things that they've done because that's
And
the only way
continue
to
to
get them
do.
out. It's the only way to get them out. They're not going to leave on their own.
Mhm.
I just wanted to finish up on that flu thing. To date, 11 million cases, 120,000 hospitalizations, and 5,000 deaths. It's January 6th. We're not even, through the season. So to tell people, and I know that the shot this year wasn't perfect, but it would minimize symptoms. I think I know somebody that got the flu shot through work because they had to, and it lessened their symptoms quite a bit that they weren't even sure they had the flu, which is a good thing, obviously. But to me, these kind of numbers and then telling you just to sit on your hands and do nothing, they're not helping anybody's cause. And they don't care, as you said.
Yeah, they don't care. They really don't want us around,
But
except when
here's,
you need little people to do the dirty work for you.
and I wanted to put this up real quick because this is the kind of things that concern them, which to me is insane. Oh my gosh. This is for for the national parks. This is the card to get into the national parks. Trump obviously put his face on the card. Nobody really appreciated it. It is being challenged in court. But the Department of Interior says if you come with a pass that looks like this with any kind of sticker over Trump's face, your card becomes invalid. Again, land of the free. If I want to put my face over his face, like who cares? Why aren't I allowed to do that? Am I desecrating this sacred person on a piece of plastic card that I literally paid for to get my annual pass? They
Yeah.
used to give them out to those over 65. It was free.
Hmm.
But there's got to be a grift in there somewhere. Well, if they pay a little bit, I make something.
Yeah, got to get my taste. I got to wet my beak. And the
Yeah.
crazy thing about all of these dictators and wannabe dictators is they're so thin-skinned.
Yeah.
They have to be loved and adored and paid attention to and never mocked. I mean, they're all like that.
It's pretty pathetic. And
It's pathetic.
Trump's the extreme when it comes to that. He just can't let anything go. And he's a
Mm.
giant baby. And whenever I see the workout thing, I'm just like, I've seen you play sports. Stop.
Yeah.
I mean, it's embarrassing. Don't tell me what a great athlete you were, what a wonderful baseball player. You could have played for the Yankees. I've seen you throw. I saw you flip a coin. It's like this, buddy, like this, not this. You're not releasing a dove. I mean, how much football have you watched?
No, he liked football when it was a tough game back when they could really hit him and get after him. Like, bro, get the fuck out of here. These guys are bigger and faster than ever.
I mean, you and I don't watch a ton of football, but when we do, at least 2 or 3 times during the game, I'm like, oh my God, like the contact, some of those hits.
Mhm.
It's just, I don't know how some guys get up sometimes. And you're right, they're stronger, they're faster. The contact. So yeah, it was tough back in the old days when they wore leather helmets. Well, that's great. It's kind of like hockey when the blades were flat. The goalies didn't even wear masks because the shots weren't coming up. I mean, everything evolves, but those guys without masks, those goalies and those guys that played during that period were tough as freaking nails. The
Mhm.
guys now, same thing. Some of these hits, I mean, these guys, the speed that they skate at and those pucks hit you in the face or whatever. I mean, come on, man.
Oh yeah, it's crazy, man. It really is. And we recently watched highlights from the 75 AFC Championship game with the Steelers and the Raiders. They played that game on frozen artificial turf, which is basically just, concrete with
Concrete.
tarp. And those guys were beating the living daylights out of each other. I mean, they were hitting.
Well, Swan got knocked out on like a horse collar. He was out before he hit the ground.
Hmm.
And his comment was, oh, it was a legal hit back then. He
Oh
wasn't
yeah.
like, oh, that guy, this, that, or the other. He was like, that was the game. I
Oh
mean,
yeah. And then 9 months later, they knocked him out again in the season opener on a play that wasn't even going their way.
Yeah.
Franco Harris was literally running past the DB Atkinson, or I think it was Atkinson, who just clubbed Swan in the back of the head as he was looking away.
Knocked out.
Knocked out. I mean, Jesus, it's amazing that guy can string sentences together. All
I
the
know.
shots that he took to the head, dirty, blatant shots. But again, that's when football was tough, when the real men played it. And you know what? The guys that are always saying that are the least manly of guys, because you wouldn't survive for a second out there.
Yeah.
It's a hard game. I mean, we saw it up close, and albeit it was a while ago, but still, you see what those guys go through on a daily basis. You see what they look like, the welts, the bruises, the limping, the just, the full
Oh, and
training room every day.
Gene talking about Monday morning having to drag himself on his hands and knees just to get to the bathroom. I mean, and listen, those guys that play the game, we've been on the inside. They don't talk like that. That's
Mm-mm.
not part of it. They understand what they do. They understand that it could be over in a snap of your fingers type of thing. There's certainly respect for the game. I'm not saying the players haven't evolved and it's not different. I'm just saying they're not the ones being pseudo tough guys. They actually have to put up and shut up. And you and I on the sideline on that turf, by the end of the day, and we started early, it was a long day, your back was killing you. You weren't getting hit by anybody. I mean, sure,
Just standing on that stuff.
occasionally maybe you got run over by somebody on the sideline, but my point being, we're not participating, and I was still hurting the next day.
Oh yeah. Well, that one time I used Coach June as a shield. I was on his court, and Chris Chandler, when he was back with the old Houston Oilers, was rolling out to our sidelines and coming right at us, and I just kind of held June up and blocked him. June got knocked down. Chandler had to leave the game. He strained his groin, but
Oh my
I was
God.
okay. I felt fine.
And June was a decent sized man, so that
Hmm.
he would have taken it better than you. I mean, I hid
Oh
behind
yeah.
Willig, who happened to be, I don't know, 6'7". What I didn't count on was Willig moving, so I couldn't see around him. But then once he moved, I saw the safety come and take me down. But in fairness, he picked me up like a rag doll too. So
He did. I
I
wish we
give
still
him.
had that. That was something. I mean, you just knocked you down and popped you right up and put you back on your feet.
And again, you're talking about his safety. It wasn't like some D lineman. It was a big guy. I mean, he was big enough, but
Big
like
enough, yeah.
I felt like a doll. Frankly, it wasn't a
Yeah.
little emasculating, but hey, worth it. Good seat
Best seat in the house.
for sure. So I know we're getting along here. I know we, with the holidays, had missed a lot of time. I did have a quote from Mark Twain, which I had asked you earlier. No amount of evidence will ever persuade an idiot. I feel like we're getting to that point. There's a certain percentage of people, maybe it's 30%, maybe it's 22%. I'm hoping that none of this matters. They said if he was a pedophile, we don't care. We just love him. We love, 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 love. You're not going to change that. But that does leave, 78% of us that have some morals, care, empathy, and want for something better for everybody. So
Yeah.
we got to get to that somehow, and I'm not sure. Again, we're trying to present this information and educate. Again, not picking sides. You give us the feedback that you want if you think that we're playing sides here. But I just feel like we're in such a weird area that there are no sides, man. It's us and them, and we said that from day one.
There's right and wrong.
That too.
There's what's what's good for the country and what's bad for the country. And yeah, those two don't meet.
And we're having trouble with facts. That really seems to be the biggest issue here. You can see something with your own eyes and you're being told not to believe it. And some of that time, it's fake anyway. So
Hmm.
how do you decipher that and be able to make an opinion other than, right and wrong? And we have laws or we don't have laws, and the laws apply to everybody or they don't. Right now, it only seems to apply to some of us, depending on your skin color and nationality and where you came from
And your bank account. Don't
in
forget
your
that.
bank account. It's a big one.
Hmm.
To that point, I don't really have a happy ending because this getting submerged in this again um, has been kind of difficult just because I don't want to say we're at wit's end, but I do feel like we're going to need to pivot to something to get more traction because it's getting pretty real.
It is. And
It
I don't
really
think, like you said, I don't think we're going to make it till November.
is.
If we're counting on that, I mean,
They're already talking about that, man. No elections, and hey, you better get me elected, or they're going to try and impeach me again. And You know,
Mhm.
the House is getting close. They have one or two heads difference, but that's not going to last. And it sure comes down to what it is. Even this Mark Kelly, where they want to court martial him or cut his benefits or
Yeah.
downgrade his commission. Even Susan Collins isn't on board with that. Okay.
I mean, they want to call that sedition.
But
Sedition
January
happened
6th,
5 years ago today. That's what sedition was. This was a man who served speaking out and just saying, hey, you do not have to listen to unlawful orders. You
follow the Constitution.
swore
Yeah.
an oath to the Constitution, not to Donald Trump. And, these people are so thin skinned. Yeah, it's unconscionable what they're trying to do to him.
It's a real problem. I think he has a lot of support, especially within the military. Just
I mean, he's
because
a combat veteran. He's an astronaut. I mean, he's a fighter pilot. What's Pete Hegseth done besides some fucking subpar push-ups and I don't know what those fucking chin-ups were?
he drank out of the dunk tub. Okay, that was disgusting. No wonder he doesn't believe in vaccinations.
Yeah.
Weirdo.
Yeah, weird.
Anyway, Billy, good catching up with you as always. We'll try and be a little bit more regular on schedule. But again, people have to start talking. People have to start talking to their community people, their neighbors, whatever. Have the discussion. Yeah, I get it. Fear is part of this equation, but fear that pushes you into doing nothing isn't helpful.
No, it's not.
So we'll see what we can do on that end as well. But anyway, I'll go back to our new song for the day because hopefully this will be temporary. But again, I do appreciate getting to chat with you about some of this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, I will catch you later. Hopefully there'll be ice tonight, even though it's 70 degrees.
Yeah, in January. But, that Chinese hoax of global warming.
All right. On that note, I'll talk to you later, and thanks again.
All right, you too, buddy. Sounds good.
See you later.